when going through Stephen Miller's financial disclosure, it popped out that he disclosed holdings between $100,000 and $250,000 of stock in Palantir, which is a federal contractor, not only doing work with immigration and customs enforcement, but the Pentagon, the CIA, many other agencies. Much of that work is very controversial, even aside from Palantir's role in sort of powering the sort of IT of immigration and customs enforcement. Their software helps ICE agents target people to arrest and detain and deport. But he is now in a position, and probably is personally profiting because of that stake in the company. So it may not be motivating his actions per se, but this isn't what the American people should expect of their officials. It's kind of a quaint notion these days, but the whole reason these ethics and conflict of interest laws exist in the first place is because federal officials shouldn't be using their positions to personally profit. Even if that's not the motivation for the decision, they shouldn't be personally profiting. And so typically, ethics officials told me what people in Miller's situation should do is divest. It's very telling that 6 months into this administration, he's not divested from this stock, despite how high profile Palantir is in relation to ICE's work. I should mention that Palantir's stock in 2025 to date has shot up by more than 80%. The price of the stock has, I believe, more than doubled since more than a year ago. Some people think the stock is overvalued and maybe eventually it will come down. But if they continue to get large federal contracts, and I mentioned the Pentagon is actually their biggest client in the federal government. The Pentagon recently announced it's modifying a contract with Palantir and will steer hundreds of millions of dollars more to Palantir. I think this contract is now valued at more than $1 billion. It's a very big targeting contract. But Stephen Miller's portfolio touches a lot of things, not just ICE. He's the deputy chief of staff for policy, and he is considered possibly the most powerful official, underneath Trump. And so he's got a lot of ways where he can kind of run into ethics troubles, but he also has a lot of ways to personally benefit from his decision-making or his influence inside the administration. In particular, and I highlighted this at the very end of my story, there are several Democratic lawmakers who sent Palantir a letter several weeks ago after that New York Times story came out asking a bunch of pointed questions. Democrats can't force Palantir to answer any of those questions. They can't force Palantir to produce any records or documents. Right. They can't force the government to produce any records or testimony. Someone who would be the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer. He's a Republican from Kentucky. But James Comer, the day after the inauguration this January, bought stock in Palantir. That was his only stock purchase that day.